All right, today I'm incredibly excited to open source what I'm calling Open Design. This is a full stack MIT licensed template that shows you how to combine the latest in AI and automation tools into what could potentially be a real product. Now, how it works is you can paste in a website and it will take the website and it will turn it into a brand kit, a design system, reusable CSS, and it allows you to generate HTML components that you can hand off to AI agents and further create components, whether it's the starting point for a visual representation of what you might want to build, or image assets that you can use for social assets, whether it's a Twitter post, a LinkedIn post, or those types of things. So in this video, what I'm going to do is first I'm going to show you what it does, and then I'm going to show you how, with a little bit of creativity and a few simple flows inside N8N, you can build a product like this too. A lot of people show beautiful, powerful N8N workflows by themselves. What I wanted to do is show you how you can take the same power of N8N and incorporate it within a real app. I wanted to have a front end, I wanted to have the real user experience, and how you can take this template and really extend it into whatever you want. First things first, I just want to walk through exactly how everything works. The great thing with N8N is I'm going to have the visual representation that shows you exactly every single piece of how the application works. So as soon as we send in that URL, what it's going to do is it's going to send to this webhook. We're going to make a post request to the N8N endpoint that we have here. And the first thing that it's going to do is it's going to take the URL. We're going to be leveraging the scrape operation on Firecrawl. And then what we're going to be asking for is the markdown summary, but most importantly is the branding format. What Firecrawl does is it allows us to have the representation of the brand here. Within here, I can see the logo, for instance. I can see the palette of the different colors. Now, once we've done that, the way that this works is we're going to have also a design webhook. So within here, what it's going to do is it's going to go and it's going to create a design.md. Now, where this is helpful is you can actually take this, and this is going to be the representation of Linear's site, and you can leverage this within tools like Codex or Claude Code. Ultimately, this is going to be the context of getting really good design results for when you're building things like presentations or when you're building things like front-end components or front-end web pages. Additionally, within here, there is also the index.css. So this is going to allow us to simply attach it within something like an HTML file or put it within our React application. And this is going to have all of the different styling that is going to be representative of the Linear brand here. Now, the way that this works is if I go over to the generate tab, now this is the key aspect of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I want to generate a pricing page, and I want a pricing tier of $15, and I want a pricing tier of $30. And now what you'll see is we'll start to see all of the streaming in of the HTML on the page here. And the really cool thing with this is the idea with how I wanted to build this is I wanted to have two core functionalities. I wanted it to have the ability to generate HTML, and I wanted it to have the ability to generate images. What this does is it leverages Kimi K2.6, and it allows us to create HTML pages. And once it's generated, we can copy that. We can additionally stack it as context in subsequent generations. We can download it. We can delete it. It can also generate image assets. So within the image generation portion, what it leverages is GPT Image 2. And what I have within N8N is I'm leveraging this through FAL. What FAL allows us to do is we can leverage a ton of different multimedia generation models, effectively all the different diffusion models that are out there, and we can generate images, we can generate videos, and effectively this is the one gateway where you can have access to a ton of different models. If you wanted to extend what I'm showing you here into also having videos, it is going to be quite trivial. You could ultimately just ask Claude Code with a prompt or two, and it would be able to incorporate everything with what I'm about to show you. Now, how this works is I can also send in, I want to generate an Instagram post for a new product called Linear Projects. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll send this in. And what we'll see here is we have this nice little loading state, and similar to how it generated the HTML, it will go off and it will generate for this. Okay, and while that's generated, I just want to quickly zoom out and take a look at everything that is powering the application. This is all of the N8N workflows. This is effectively the back end of our application. Within here, the nice thing with this is what I often see with a lot of people generating these N8N workflows is oftentimes is it will generate a very complicated workflow, but ultimately I don't see enough examples of it actually tying into a front-end application. And that's what I wanted to do here is really open source something where people can take this as inspiration and really show you the simplicity and elegance of leveraging something like N8N and how you can plug that in and make it really easy to build very powerful applications. Now we have the image asset that was generated. And the cool thing with this is what it's going to do is it's also going to pass in the context of the logo as well as all of the branding styles when it's generating both the HTML as well as the image. Like you see here, it has the coherent logo, and this is in part due to the process of sending in the the context, but also a big part, or probably the biggest part, is actually the GPT image 2 model, which allows you to do things like this, where you can send in a number of different assets and it has the coherence here. So I asked it to generate the linear projects here, and here I can see all the words being correct, and ultimately it is a starting point, even if it's just like a starting point for inspiration. And the thing with something like this is ultimately it just gives you the ability to augment different ideas that you have. So let's say, for instance, you're a designer and you're working on a particular brand. All that you need to do is pass in the URL and you're going to be able to build a web application, or you can also generate these image assets as well. And effectively what you can do is you can just spawn off and extend your style. And the idea with this is, what I wanted to do is really have a really easy and elegant way. I didn't want to have a ton of little buttons everywhere. I just wanted to make it really simple for actually generating these core 2 assets. So I wanted to boil it down to its core here. Now what I wanted to do is really focus in and dive in on the process of how this works. So at its core, it looks like there's a handful of nodes, but when you break it down step by step, it really simplifies the process on how you can extend this type of thing and leverage something like N8N. Now, what's great with how N8N works now is you have the ability to drag and drop all of these different nodes, but additionally, they're really on the forefront where you can attach MCP server to be able to do all of this as well. Or you can also leverage their hosted agent, where you can simply ask with natural language what you're trying to build, what you're trying to accomplish, and it will grab all of the relevant context of the proper nodes and begin to stitch it together. It's a very versatile product in that regard. Now, the way that this works is there's effectively 4 different endpoints that it posts to. So the first one, like I mentioned, we're going to get the branding style. And then once we have the branding style, we're going to be passing this to Kimi K2.6. And this is going to be what generates the initial implementation of all of the branding assets there. So effectively what I'm doing is I'm passing in the context of what I get from Firecrawl, and I'm further synthesizing that into that initial screen that you saw there. Once we have that, we're going to be responding back with what we had. And then within here, you can see I'm leveraging Kimi K2.6, but what you can do within here is you can swap this out to any model. You can leverage Anthropic, you can leverage OpenAI, you can leverage Google, basically whatever you want within here. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to be setting up a brand strategist. This is going to take what we have from the brand representation, and it's going to take all of those elements of the brand, and it's going to begin to create things like the brand archetype, the voice examples, the mood keywords. These are ultimately going to be the things where when we send in the subsequent context, we're going to be able to leverage these things and have, without having to prompt ourselves, ultimately have a really good representation of getting good augmented results. Now to run through how this works. So we have 4 different endpoints that you can see within here. We have these webhooks that are waiting for the request from the front end. The first endpoint is our decode endpoint. What this does is we're going to send in the URL that we have from the first portion of the application. We're going to send that in, and we're going to get the summary as well as the branding format from Firecrawl. Once we have that, we're going to be sending this in into the Kimi K2.6 model. Within here, we have the system prompt, we have the context within the variables that we're sending in, and within here, you can see this is how you configure the models. So you can use any model. You can use OpenAI, you can use Anthropic, you can use Google models, you can use Kimi models, basically any model that you want, you can leverage within an N8N node just like this. Then once we have that, we're going to respond back with the response. Okay, now the second route is the design system. This is going to be what writes the strategy first, then the design spec. The first thing that we're going to do within this node is we're going to have the agent, and this is going to be where it designs the positioning. It's going to target the audience, the archetype, mood, all of those different design key elements, and also things like what the design should avoid and those types of things. This is going to be one of the key aspects of how we get good results. And then once we've done that, we have a simple small stash strategy. And what this is, it's a particular node, and it's not doing anything magical. It's just preserving the strategy output, and it will shape it into a clean payload for the next agent. So once we've done that, we have the next agent, and this is going to be the second agent within the route. And what this agent does is this is what creates our design.md. This is a new standard. I believe it was popularized by Google. A lot of people are beginning to adopt this, which I think is a really great idea. It's a really good way on how you can pass in context into different systems, whether it's Claude Code, Codex, or Lovable, or Bolt, or basically any different system. And it gives you ultimately better results because it's actually including some design elements and some core fundamental design principles that you can extend into different things that you're building. Now, the second agent, this is going to be what writes the design.md. Now, the cool thing with design.md is you can copy and paste this in basically any AI agent, and it will take the design of what you want to build with it. So a lot of people are beginning to adopt this, which is really cool to see. And it does give you much better design results than if you were just to prompt this with natural language. Now, within here, what we're going to have is we're going to have both pieces of context. We're going to have the original decoded brand data, as well as the strategy that was created in the previous LLM call. Now, this is also leveraging K 2.6, but the cool thing with how this is set up is what you'll notice within here is we have these different nodes, and you can swap each of these out to different models if you want. For instance, if you want one LLM call to leverage one model, you can do that, or you can additionally just swap and change them out just as easy as selecting them within the dropdown here. So as soon as you begin to add in other credentials for different providers, you can unlock all of those different models. And next, this is going to be where we generate the HTML. So there's a couple different aspects to this, and ultimately it could just be one LLM call if we wanted to. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to outline the page, and this is going to turn the outline into a usable skeleton. And now how this works is first what we're going to do is we're going to be passing in the design.md that we had just generated. And the information from this is we're going to say, given the design HTML, return valid JSON with the key sections, an array of objects of all of these different aspects. So a hero, featured, social proof, so on and so forth. We're going to use the brand voice for the spec and do not include markdown. Once we have that, we're going to stash the output of this. And then what we're going to do within here is we're going to have a system prompt. And effectively what we're going to have is we're going to have the inline CSS that we had generated previously. And then we're going to implement all of the different aspects of what we had asked for. Within here, we say only generate the HTML, no code fences. We're effectively just prompting it so it doesn't come back with what will break the HTML visually on the page here. And then this is going to respond back and stream back with all of those tokens that we saw in the screen there. And then finally, what we have is for the image generation. Again, this is going to be the fourth and final one, and this is to generate the brand assets. And what we're going to do is we're going to post to the endpoint, and then we're going to build the prompt. And now this one's a little bit more complicated, but effectively what we're doing is we're going to be getting all of those different things that we had generated in previous steps, the palette, the brand name, all of the different assets. And effectively what we're going to do is we're going to combine this into one prompt that we're going to be sending into FAL, and that's going to be able to build this and be able to generate all of those different assets for us. And the cool thing with this is you can pass in the image, you can pass in the overall archetype, the tone, and all of this information together, like you saw within the image generation, it does generate and yield really high results. Once we have that, we're going to be passing it into FAL. And within here, the great thing with FAL, they have so many different models that you can leverage. Like I mentioned, you could swap this out for a video generation model if you wanted to within this step, or you could extend this and also have that if you wanted to. Once we've generated that, we're just going to be simply shaping the asset. We're going to aggregate the asset, and then we're going to be responding back to the front end. And ultimately, that's all that we really need to set all of this up. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link out to this repo. I'm going to make all of this public MIT license. You can build this however you want. There's going to be the front end portion like I'm showing here. And then there's also going to be the template that I'll link out within the description of the video where you can get and set up the initial implementation of what we have within N8N. The cool thing with this is once you set it up, this is going to be the starting point of how you can leverage this across a number of different brands. If you just want to pull down a site and play around with their design system, I have within here Vercel. I can go over to the generate tab. You can see all of these different assets that I generated. For instance, I have this other social asset that it generated for me. So ultimately, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you do like these types of templates, I have been thinking a little bit more about potentially doing this a little bit more often. So if you do like these types of things and these types of open source projects, just let me know within the comments below. But otherwise, if you found this video useful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, until the next one.